10 seasons have slipped by since Shaquille O'Neal last laced up an NBA sneaker, yet somehow his shadow keeps stretching. One week, he's pouring a neon yellow SHAQILLE XL Slurpee at 7-Eleven. The next, he's flashing a badge as Henry County's Director of Community Relations, or unveiling a new beatbox blueberry lemonade cocktail with Mark Cuban on Instagram. But the real magic of Diesel isn't how loud he stays, it's how many lanes he drives at once. Dominant athlete, platinum rapper, volunteer sheriff, serial franchisor, Ed.D. Each role threads into a single story about turning obstacles into fuel. Buckle up for 7 rapid-fire chapters that peel back the curtain on the man who still rivals Michael Jordan for post-retirement fame and shows no sign of coasting. Shaq's boyhood heroes didn't dunk, they patrolled streets. 2 uncles wore uniforms and young Shaquille dreamed of joining them until an unexpected growth spurt sent him toward NBA rims instead of police academies. Retirement finally let him circle back. Reserve stints in Doral, Florida, auxiliary status in Broward County, honorary deputy posts in Clayton and Henry Counties, and now a public vow to run for sheriff once his TNT mic goes silent. If the badge pursuit came full circle, his family story drew a far messier loop. His biological father, Joseph Tony, faced substance issues and incarceration, leaving infant Shaq to the steady hand of Army Sergeant Philip Harrison. For decades, O'Neal publicly dismissed Tony, even rapping, "Biological didn't bother." Yet after Harrison's death, mother Lucille urged reconciliation. In 2016, the 44-year-old superstar finally met Tony at a Newark soul food spot beneath the very apartment where his dad had been living. "I don't judge you," Shaq said, closing a wound few ever saw heal. But family scars were only the first tuition fee. The next was financial, and it posted a $1 million bill. An Orlando Magic contract dropped $3 untaxed million into Shaq's rookie bank account. Within 24 hours, he'd blown nearly half. A pair of matching black Mercedes for himself and Sarge Harrison, an identical whip for Lucille, plus jewelry, electronics, and gifts for everyone who ever answered my calls. The banker's warning that he'd overdrafted on day one struck harder than any Pat Riley motivational rant. From then on, O'Neal swore off impulse and committed to banking 75% of every check. The discipline paid compound dividends. 30 years later, Forbes and Celebrity Net Worth peg his personal fortune at roughly $500 million, with annual earnings still north of his peak Lakers salary. And that cushion wasn't built on sneakers alone. It came from an empire that looks more like a Fortune 500 flowchart than a retired athlete resume. Today, Shaq's franchise Rolodex reads like a mall directory on creatine. Big Chicken, 40 stores open, 350 in the pipe. 55 Auntie Anne's kiosks, 17 Krispy Kreme outlets, 150 plus car washes, 24 fitness centers, and a Papa John's board seat, complete with the public face that helped scrub that brand's image. Big Chicken is the crown jewel, aiming for 272 more sites by 2029 under a new crave-worthy partnership after snagging 2024's Brand of the Year award. Yet O'Neal still hunts startups the way 1990s Shaq hunted rebounds. In March 2025, he bought into Beatbox Beverages, launching an 11.1% Clod ABV flavor he calls Capri Sun for Grown-Ups, an RTD line already valued north of $200 million. Even his volunteer gig as general manager of Sacramento State men's basketball doubles as a sandbox for NIL marketing ideas. He waived a salary. The payoff is real-time data on Gen Z consumer habits. But dollar signs weren't his only off-court remix. Shaq also chased platinum plaques and Hollywood cameos long before athletes had media playbooks. In 1993, during film breaks on Blue Chips, O'Neal hustled to the studio to cut Shaq Diesel. Critics shrugged, but fans hit play enough for the album to ship platinum the next spring, the rare athlete record to crack Billboard's top 40. The movie itself yielded a different gem. Co-star Anthony Penny Hardaway Impressed by Penny's smooth handle, Shaq called Orlando's front office and insisted they trade their freshly drafted Chris Webber for Hardaway plus picks. Management obliged. The duo dunked its way to the 1995 finals. O'Neal's cameo list kept ballooning. Kazam, Steel, DJ sets at Tomorrowland, even directing the Boston Pops. Yet one truth never changed. When fans thought Shaq, they pictured furious dunks and bending metal. Between 1992 and 1993 alone, the rookie ripped down 2 televised backboards, arena crews scrambled, the NBA beefed up rim supports, and Shaq-proof stanchions became league standard. Over 19 seasons, he unofficially annihilated a dozen rims and logged a single three-pointer, an accidental half-court fling while bricking half his free throws. Those flaws only amplified his menace. 4 rings, 3 Finals MVPs, 15 All-Star nods, a rule change banning defenders from camping in the paint, defensive 3 seconds, and a permanent sculpture in his backyard built from mangled hoops. Yet behind the broken steel lurked a persistent student who refused to let stereotypes box him in. A promise to Lucille sent Shaq back to LSU for his bachelor's in 2000, an online MBA in 2005, and, most improbably, a doctorate in organizational learning and leadership from Barry University in 2012. His capstone dissected humor versus aggression in executive communication, a thesis he lives nightly on Inside the NBA when he needles Charles Barkley one moment and slips mentorship gems the next. The degree also underpins boardroom gravitas. SEC filings show he sits on or advises 8 companies, ranging from esports startups to early-stage AI funds, a portfolio Bloomberg calls life-changing diversification. And the diesel engine keeps idling in new gears. Big Chicken eyes an IPO or SPAC exit once its 600-unit target nears. Not confirmed, but insiders note Craveworthy's history of public market flips. VR Fitness, trademark filings show Shaq Attack VR pending, an immersive Boxing Plus IIT app teased on his Twitch stream in May. Esports, veteran investor in NRG and SubNation re-upped his stake in January to fund mobile gaming events across HBCU campuses. Philanthropy, the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation passed $20 million in grants for tech-equipped boys and girls clubs, and, per an AP report, he recently secured a mortgage-free home for the widow of slain California Deputy Darnell Calhoun. When asked what motivates the sprawl, O'Neal grins, because retirement is another season, not the off-season. The same curiosity that once shattered rims now shatters career templates. From abandoned infant to 4-time champion, from million-dollar splurge to half-billion mogul, from shattered glass to doctoral tassel, Shaquille O'Neal keeps disproving the limits people place on him. The through line isn't charity commercials or catchphrases, it's a refusal to let any single chapter define the book. So the next time you spot a Big Chicken sign, sip a Shaqillicious Slurpee, or hear that deep laugh echo through TNT's studio, remember, every punchline, every business pivot, every volunteer badge traces back to lessons learned from overspending, forgiveness, and rim-shaking resilience. And with Diesel still flooring the accelerator at 53, the real question isn't what will Shaq do next. It's how many industries can one body, one brand, and one unbelievably big heart squeeze into a single lifetime.